Hello Year 11. This is just a quick short video to just give you a bit of a reminder about this booklet and some of the key principles when you're revising. So we talked about three things on the assembly that I did with you and on the drop down day. One was retrieval practice, one was self-testing, and the other we talked about was spaced practice. Now, I'm going to just go into those a little bit of detail, but the first thing to remember is everything that I'm going to talk about today is in this booklet. Okay, so those three key terms are coming along the bottom of your screen now: retrieval practice, spaced practice, and self-testing. They're the three key bits. So, retrieval practice, what is it? Can you remember what it is? And in fact, you even trying to remember what it is retrieval practice in itself. All retrieval practice is the act of trying to recall something that you've already learned at some point and trying to remember it. This is not about learning something new. This is about going over something that you were maybe taught last week, last month, or even last year. So if you can recall the facts or the knowledge without any delay, that is going to help you in two ways. It's going to help you firstly in your exams, because you won't be wasting time trying to remember. You'll be able to write fluently. And the second thing is vocabulary. Big reason where people lose marks is not using the right key vocabulary for the right subject. So therefore, if you've revised that vocabulary, it will come to your mind quicker and you will embed it into your writing and therefore, again, get access to the higher grades. Okay, so there are two main ways that you can help yourself with revision. The first is creating resources for yourself using the knowledge that you need to remember, which is basically what this booklet is about. So most of the techniques in here, such as mind maps, flashcards, revision clocks, they're all in here to help you make resources for yourself. And even in fact, making the resources that you're going to use to go over and over, just making them is actually retrieval practice in itself. So flashcards, you make the flashcard, then you test yourself. Two ways: you're learning from doing it and from reminding yourself. The second way is something called self-testing, and that essentially just means there's no point you going over things you already know. So if you were trying to remember French vocabulary, you test yourself, or you get someone at home, a friend or a family member, to test you, and you keep testing yourself over and over and over again until you can get 10 out of 10, and that way you know it's stuck in your memory. So there's only one other area to this which we need to talk about, which is spaced practice. And all spaced practice really is the idea that you are chunking your knowledge into small bits and you are not trying to cram everything you need to know the night before the exam over 2 hours, staying up all night, having energy drinks. That is not going to help. So what you need to do is do spaced practice, which means I revise something, I give it a 2-day gap, I revise it again, I give it a 2-day gap. And you do it in that way so that your brain is constantly going over it until you remember it, which is how we learn to memorise anything. Lines from a script, phone numbers, whatever it is, just by constantly going over and over and over. I've done all the hard work for you. All the techniques are in this booklet. There's over 20 ways you can revise and they're all slightly different. So please, hopefully you've already seen this and used it in the mocks that we've just had, because I know we've done a bit of work on it and your tutors also have copies. So hopefully you've used it already. If not, make sure you're ready for the exams at the end of the year. So that's all I've got to say. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's all in the booklet. You can get a copy of this from your tutor. I'll try and put a copy digitally online as well. Or I've always got spares in my office down in Inclusion. And if you've got any questions about revision, please come and see me or any member of the team at SNS. Good luck.